SVG education system, says Minister of Education. Tourism Authority begins new search for the new CEO. Tourist arrival numbers almost back to normal, says Minister. PM questions low participation in book loan scheme in some schools. Jealous man jailed for stabbing ex-girlfriend. ABCD Commission initiative to gain momentum at sidelines of UN General Assembly. Acting Corporal of Police graduates with first class honors. 11 selected for the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association Under 23 General Assembly, as well as more sports, columnists, business buzz, and kitchen corner. Searchlight journalism that you can trust. And at this time, we are going to begin our activated mornings. And here in studio with me is Ari Shaw. All right, Ari, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, listeners. Good morning, Roleza. How are you this morning?
I am okay. I'm okay. Been thrown in the deep end today, but that's just fine. This is how we learn and we develop. So yeah.
All right, so I guess we can begin speaking about the recording that made its rounds. A lot of people are talking about it actually. The leak.
Tell me more.
API recording. I'm not sure if we have the audio here.
No, well, we may not need to play the audio because it's a bit it's what 10 minutes plus, but I guess you could just give us a synopsis of what it was about.
Yeah, so it's basically a leaked API staff meeting that went all the way south. There was I'm not sure what his real name is. Candyman
Chevrolet
Macmillan. Morning, Candyman. Airing out his I don't know what's the right word to use, but airing out his displeasure with a lot of things that were going on over at the API. Now he called some names. He accused the director of a number of things. The director, of course, rebutted all in the recording, saying that what he's saying is untrue. It's half truths and lies. And the more important issue at hand there is, should a private recording of your staff meeting be leaked? What are the penalties? Could staff members sue? What's possible? What was the possible outcome of this leak?
Yeah, well, so what's your thoughts though? What are your general thoughts on what has happened?
Well, I think we really have to find out why is it that someone at the meeting felt the need to record in the first place. It sounds like an ongoing issue. Over at API.
And bear in mind that this is the second such leak that we've heard in space of a few months.
What was the first recording about? Because I missed that one.
The first one had to do with an internal issue. But it was, what was that one? It was an accusation being made against another coworker. Right, of theft of an item or something to that effect, right? But I think one of the things for me is, or the big question that I have, so apart from it's being leaked, should there be a reasonable expectation whenever we are in meetings or any type of staff meeting that there would be a level of privacy, right? Because we tend to think that staff meetings or even at work, that things are going to be confidential. And what should happen in cases where matters come to the public or are made, put out there for public information, right? I think this is where my biggest issue. So yes, the recording has a bit of a commerce element to it, but that would not be what I'd be focusing on. I'd be focusing on the fact that why is all of this information coming to light? The names that are called and the accusations that are made against these fellow coworkers. How would the public feel? Is it well, it may not necessarily be defamation of character, maybe in the total sense of it, but when you have things said or leaked to the public, those who may not know of the individuals before, or the persons who may not even choose to be objective in their thinking, they may target or label persons based on what they heard in a recording without maybe trying to find out information for themselves. So yes, in a sense, it's still defamation, I suppose. I'm not sure if I'm using it correctly in the true essence of the legal definition, but yeah, I have a serious problem with issues like this. Um, Now, some may argue that recordings serve a purpose, right? Because you have whistleblowers in an organization, and these whistleblowers bring matters to the public attention. But in this case, it's not a it's not necessarily a case where it's a criminal offense that was happening, nor was it a case of somebody being abused. So,
this
you
wasn't
know,
whistleblowing at all.
right. So in this case, it's not whistleblowing, but I'm saying in the essence of recordings. You can have recordings happening in the case where, let's say, it's a whistleblower who's trying to bring a matter to light. But in these cases where it's a staff meeting, it's an internal affair, what should happen in these cases?
I really, really believe that this is grounds for dismissal. That's my personal opinion. And you heard it on the recording that someone on staff, well, it's clear he identified himself. Everybody knows his voice. He's a popular personality in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He is on the recording having a disrespectful tone towards the director of the API. And he is saying that the director doesn't tell him when to end the interview. None of that. he was the boss that day.
Yeah, it seems like there was a bit of grandstanding taking place.
Definitely.
Taking place on it. And I guess the other question that that we have to bring into is the respect for authority. Now,
and your co-workers.
And your co-workers, but in cases, yes, everybody, you are adults. But if I am speaking to my superior, do I adopt a particular tone of voice? Do I adopt a particular type of language, style of language? What has happened to cases of that respect for authority? Now, somebody might say they may not respect authority. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case with Candyman, but sometimes we have to look at all of these type of issues, as well as this leak to the public. What does it say for the morale of the organization, for the staff members?
That's a very good question.
Does this warrant, or does this allow for persons to feel as though when you enter that building or you enter that office, do they want to be there? Because all of these issues have come to the public light. And, in some ways, it's almost like, it's like a series at this point. Well, I mean, two might make it a series. Let's hope there isn't a third one.
Series, a docu-series, just 2 episodes out so far.
Yeah, but you don't want for that particular department to become the laughing stock of the public.
You know what I'm interested to find out? If there is a sector for counseling government workers, because I feel like in this situation a counselor should be involved to improve the morale, because now you have one co-worker accusing the director. Let's say the director did see these things, and the director say every problem he had, every issue he addressed it to the people directly. So now that this is in the public, and a lot of the people, because they were named by names, they were named by names, and if you're in the media, you know exactly who these people are. If you're avid watcher or listener or listener of API, you know who some of these people are. So they now have to face the public. One person accused of being lazy, one person accused of being a drunkard. They now have to face the public. So what happens now when they walk into the API building? There should be a counselor or someone there to try to bring that staff back together, because it's not productive if every staff member is against each other.
Correct. But I do think, if I'm not mistaken, and callers or listeners, you can maybe Let me know if I'm correct. But I do think that maybe within the last year or two that a unit was established to assist public servants with their mental health. Like a counselor, there is a division that I know that was set up about it. I did hear or read about it within the media, But yeah, it's a very funny situation to be in.
Yeah, not funny, haha.
Not funny, haha. Just
Funny,
funny as in
weird.
difficult,
Yes.
Funny as in difficult.
But this is not a closed discussion either. Callers, you can call in by 457-9994. WhatsApp by the same number, 457-9994. Give us
Right.
your thoughts. If you've heard the recording, I'm guessing most people have. If not, we shouldn't really play it. It's been played too much.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, there's no
yeah.
reason to repeat the things that have been said, So yeah, we will not play the recording.
But
But
it's
yeah,
disappointing. It's
it
very
is.
disappointing.
It is, and I think what concerns me is that whole level of respect. Now, I can appreciate instances where, let's say, you're not happy with your job or you're not happy with your boss, right? I can appreciate those particular
So can I.
instances.
So can I.
But the thing of it is that at no point in time does it give you the authority to be disrespectful.
And that is the problem, because I'm sure there are people who had their boss make dishonest statements about them. I'm pretty sure there are people who have problems with their boss deeper than the regular draping up or just statements that the boss would make, and they would feel like, okay, in order to go into a meeting with this person or in order to speak with this person, I need to protect myself and I need to record our discussions. But to leak those discussions, and a lot of people are speculating, obviously, who the person is
The
that
leaker?
the leaker, the whistleblower in quotes. Everybody has their speculation because the recording makes one person look good and
Does
one
it?
person look bad.
I don't think that anybody
Yeah.
looks favorable in that
Well,
recording at all.
you know what? I 100% agree with
Yeah.
you. In a situation like that, nobody wins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if it is that you're juvenile about it and you're trying to impress your friends or you're trying to impress an audience, then it makes you look good in that sense, not in the general sense.
Yeah, but I think if we're being mature about it, I like when I heard the recording, at no point in time was it ever funny to me, because
Yeah.
I'm listening to it and saying, but number one, why would you adopt that tone of voice? No, it's supposed to be a meeting where an apology was being issued.
Mm-hmm.
However, in that meeting, you sought to pull down everybody else or pull down other members of staff. So there was a scheme, there was an agenda that was set.
Oh, I definitely believe that. Whether it is that he was the one who lead the he was the owner of the recording, we don't know. But it was definitely, I don't know the word for it right now. It's definitely, I just disappointed. I'm just very, very disappointed that something like this has to come to light in a government institution responsible for information. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing as well too is, given that there was a common denominator in both recordings, when we have to look at, so we did talk about reprimand, what's necessarily the course of action there, but for me, even in the first, from coming out from the first recording, it seems like nothing was done. And apart from nothing being done by way of pulling up that individual, it seems as though, in a way, they were elevated in a sense, I suppose, because of the fact that, they got to continue travels, continue to do reports from overseas and so forth. And, to the public, it makes you wonder, is bad behavior rewarded or just brushed aside?
That's a very good question. And then if it isn't that this person is reprimanded, it begs you to question, who is the boss over there?
Yeah.
There is no business that I believe it's okay for an employer to come in and issue such a disrespectful tone and accusation. And those are accusations that don't go away. They type of accusation that was made on that recording at a staff meeting, those are accusations that do not go away, whether they are true or not.
Yeah.
And the fact that the director responded that way, assuming that there would have been a different set of allegations, it says a lot about the moral. It says a lot about the working environment over there.
And I think too, for me, it reflects on the level of maturity because, as I said, I can see that there being issues with you not being okay with your boss. I can see issues with you not being okay with your employer, your employees, or no, not employees, your coworkers,
A lot
right?
of people experience that every day.
But the thing of it is that when you have to react in this manner, then what does it say about you as the individual? I always say one of the things to never, ever do is give anyone a reason, whether or not they like you or not, to discredit your personality or to discredit your work, right? You're not going to be friends with everybody. That's okay. You know, you may have bosses who you're not going to be cool with, whether on a personal level, you're not going to be cool with them. But if I have to react in that particular type of manner towards my boss, then what does it say about my character?
You know, it's important to note as well. In the recording, there's two people speaking. It's a staff meeting. So I'm pretty sure the names that were called and the accusations that were made, these people right there present in the meeting and they said nothing. Or if they said something, the recording clearly didn't pick it up.
Yeah. Or maybe they were so shocked because I was taken aback and I could not imagine myself being in that meeting, my name being called, and I'd be like, where did this come out from? You know, I might have blown a fuse afterwards, you know, but as well as not noting that it was being recorded. I think that is what it is, you know. You're not expecting. So yes, you have internal discussions with coworkers. You would have internal debates with coworkers, but we're not expecting things to be recorded. And I think that to me is where it's wrong. And now it makes me wonder. I'm hoping, God forbid, that it doesn't become a new trend. You know, where a person, because you know that whenever you go to the PM's office, you have to leave your cell phone outside. You're not allowed to carry any recording device or devices within his office. Yeah, you're not allowed to. So, you know, it makes me wonder now, would employers need to say whenever they're called, a general meeting is being called, that phones should not be allowed? Now, I know that some organizations do that, you know, but I think that is to allow for persons not to be distracted. But, you know, in case of an emergency or whatever, you kind of need to have your phone, you know, just in case, especially for people with children or whatever, you know. But would this be a new trend? If an employer senses that there's tension within an office, when they call that particular staff meeting, would they say, leave all phones at your stations?
Are they allowed to do such a thing? Who knows? But the discussion is open. The number to call is 457-9994. 457-9997. Sorry, the WhatsApp is 497-9994. It's an open discussion for anyone to join. So please let us know your thoughts.
All right. So while we await some feedback, let's take in this one from Shaggy.
Now this one dedicated to all of you. Them who out there know to say nice things to them girls. Treat her like diamonds and pearls. Dedicated to all the girls around the world. Now this is Raven and Shaggy with a combination with the artists. Flip this one on your musical disc.
Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me, baby. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, lady.
I'll is one big party when you're still young, but who's gonna have your back when it's all done? It's all good when you live for your beer fun. Can't be a fool, son. What about the long run? Looking back, shorty always a mention. Say me not giving her much attention. She was there through my incarceration. I wanna show the nation my appreciation.
Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me, baby. Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, lady.
You're a queen and that's how you should be treated. Though you never get the loving that you needed. Could have left but I call and you heeded. Begged and I pleaded, mission completed. And I said that I and I this the program. Not the type to mess around with your emotion. But the feeling that I have for you is so strong. Been together so long and this could never be wrong.
Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me, baby. Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, lady.
Girl, instead of my behavior, say I'm a savior.
You must be sent from up above.
And you appear to me so tender. Say, girl, I surrender.
Thanks for giving me your love.
Girl, in spite of my behavior, you are my savior.
You must be sent from up above.
And you appear to me so tender. Well, girl, I surrender.
So thanks for giving me your love.
Now that is one big party when you're still young. And who's gonna have your back when it's all done? It's all good when you live for your pure fun. Can't be a fool, son. What about the long run? Looking back, shorty, always a mention. Say me not giving her much attention. She was there through my incarceration. I wanna show the nation my appreciation.
Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me, baby. Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, lady. Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Closer than my peeps, you are to me, baby. Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need, lady.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
This carnival in summer, win over $8,000 in prizes exclusively with Flow. And to make things even more fun with Flow, is giving away $1,000 in cash prizes every single week. Win easy with Flow. Simply sign up, pay up, tap up, bundle up, activate the new service and switch to Flow. This carnival with Flow, we're winning easy.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry.
We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Love it, embrace it. 3, 2, 1.
WEFM is SVG.
All right, and we are back. And remember that this is an interactive session, and the WhatsApp number is 457-9994, as well as if you wish to call us, it's 457-9997. All right, so.
Well, we honestly can't sit down and discuss the inner workings of the API all morning.
Yeah, but it's just really unfortunate on several levels. For as I can only imagine being an employee there, to have this type of spotlight. And you know what's interesting too is that before it was called the API, it was called GIS, Government Information Service. I give it with my age.
I
sorry.
feel really young.
I'm sorry. I'll give it with my age.
Yesterday it was Colonial Hospital. Today it's Government
Information Service.
Information Service. The only thing I remember is National Insurance Scheme.
Well, that was always they changed
from scheme to services.
Right. But... Yes, I'm giving with my age. That's quite fine. But yeah, the thing of it is that they have done a lot of work in terms of changing the image of the organization. When you look at their social media pages, they have a lot of information there. There's a lot of content there. Mm-hmm. The quality of their video production, the different type of topics that they choose to cover. So they have lifted. They have what should I say? Advanced they have advanced in a way, to make it a bit more palatable for us younger persons. Now I'm putting myself back down in the younger category, right?
But I've said this as well. Mm-hmm. Over the past few years, the API has really improved the quality of information that they put out. From the press releases to the news reports to the table discussions, it's been improvements all around, and they deserve an applause for that. And the thing is, something like this now will overshadow the positive that they have done, because the API is really the central source of information.
It is. Yep.
It's disappointing.
It is. But I don't know about the workers, the employees there, but you've been doing a good job, and let's hope that these two particular incidents don't
discourage you.
Because you guys have been putting out great work. So let's see what happens, but it's unfortunate, and I really and truly would not like to hear of this particular type of situation happening at another organization. Now, as I said before, I can understand if it's a case where a criminal offense has taken place or a matter of abuse is happening. Let's say an employer is berating a coworker or a team member, and they're using insultive language, etc. Maybe if it's a case where it's overbearing or whatever, maybe in those instances we can understand. But when it comes to situations where it's sounding more like commerce, no, let's not have any more of those.
But speaking about situations not happening at other businesses, today Gecko should be holding a meeting to discuss why the former CEO was dismissed.
Yeah, this is interesting.
According to Eyewitness News, this is historic because no other CEO has been removed in such a manner. That the members have summoned the board, to explain their decision. Now this is a while. This is at least a few weeks now since he has been dismissed, and the members are asking for answers. So according to Eyewitness News, some 80 members of GECO, citing specific laws of the Credit Union and the Cooperative Societies Act, demanded that a special meeting of the members of the credit union be held within 21 days of receipt of the letter. Linus Goodluck, the credit union secretary, has given notice of the meeting, which takes place at the Methodist Church Hall, Kingstown, at 4 p.m. this Tuesday, today. The notice said that the meeting is called to inform the general membership of the dismissal of the former CEO. Now, are you familiar with the 8 reasons they cited according to media?
Yeah, I went through some of them, but you could probably highlight a few for us.
So they say they consider him a mismatch between his management style, and the spirit and needs of GECO as a member-owned association. So he had a general failure to consistently carry out the duties outlined in paragraph 3 and 4 of the job. The board complained that the work environment and staff cohesion and team spirit had not been enhanced or maintained. So these issues are given the impression that he is not aware or is reluctant to address concern which has affected the staff morale, performance, and health, and the overall well-being of the organization. How much issues have I listed so far? Well, Lord have mercy. This is inclusive of interacting with key stakeholders as described in your duties of paragraphs 28 to 29 of your job description. Overall, there's an apparent display of a lack of understanding of the culture of the credit union movement and the reluctance to make the necessary adjustments. There's obviously more to the letter, but I don't know, in all my years, it's unheard of. And as Eyewitness News correctly stated, a member of GECO, the CEO, be removed in such a manner publicly. Because according to this, some members did not even know until it was made public. And that's
yeah, I found it interesting the developments that happened. But number one, let me start with, I also think it's good in a sense where the members of the organization have summoned or have requested that a meeting be held to explain the circumstances, because I think one of the things is that the former CEO left abruptly, right? They weren't informed, and they were informed through the media. But I like the fact that being a shareholder, being a credit union member, it shows that you have that authority is not quite the word that I want to use, but it shows that the board is responsible to the members in terms of providing answers. And I like the fact that the board has not been dismissive in terms of, you said it was a petition that was signed? Was it the 88 members part?
It was a letter.
Right.
Citing specific law. I don't know if it was a...
No, okay, so something before. I was trying to open it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a petition.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
But the point is that the board realizes that they're accountable to their members and are giving them the go ahead to have this meeting, to have their questions answered. Now, when I first read in a previous report from Kenton, from Eyewitness News, when I read of the reasons cited by the board for Mr. Stowe's dismissal, I chuckled, right? And I will tell you the reason why I chuckled. I am wondering if it's a case of a difference in management style. Now, we all know that Mr. Bowman was the head of GECU for very many years, right? And because of that, his style of interaction, both with members and with employees, may have been a particular way, right? Now, I cannot speak about the style of Mr. Stowe, but I'm wondering if it was a case of there was a difference in personality, which either Mr. Stowe himself needed to get used to in terms of the culture of the organization, or if the members themselves also needed to get used to it, if I'm not mistaken, because I was trying to pull up the article, so excuse me for not quoting exact information. But the GECU showed a significant profit last year, right? And this would have been under the helm of Mr. Stowe. Now, it's interesting that, it's under the previous article, where some members were happy with that. They're saying, give me the profits, I would take the profits over anything else. Now, I can't necessarily just say that by itself, because yes, it's one thing about getting the profits coming in, but you also have to look at employee morale within the organization. But it's interesting, the turn of events here, because I've never quite heard of a situation like this happening before. But I wondered if it was just a case of that change of personality, of change of management style. The credit unions tend to be a friendly society, both for members and employees in a sense. So was it just that there was a difference of style that maybe persons needed to get used to? So
it's interesting to note that at the end of the story, the Eyewitness News noted that they obtained an 8-page letter written on March 28th in this year, in which one female staff member who has since resigned her post complained to the board of directors about unethical, bullying, and very highly unprofessional behavior by another staff member in a supervisory position. The staff member said she reported the matter to Stowe in March of 2023, and he had advised that she take it to the board since it involved his office and he did not have the authority to deal with it. The junior staff member complained to the board of directors that the superior officer had shared with her shocking details allegedly about Stowe. Now, there's a quotation here. It says, "I could not understand why she would say such things that would defame his character," the junior staffer wrote to the directors, saying that she felt as though she was being spited after being appointed to act in a certain capacity at the credit union. I guess that's two businesses now. I guess there's always going to be trouble in paradise.
Well, I mean, with anything, you have to adapt with change, You see, it's a little bit ticklish for me to speak with authority on it because I'm just we're just drawing inferences from what we are reading. I've not spoken to, let's say, employees of the organization to know, let's say how they felt working under Mr. Stowe's leadership. So I'm trying to be a bit careful here because there are always two sides of a coin. But I suppose everything will come out, or what needs to come out to advance the credit union would come out hopefully in this afternoon's meeting.
Yeah, this afternoon should be productive, informative.
The members are going to be given that opportunity to express their thoughts. I'm hoping that there will be no holds barred discussion there this afternoon as well. And let's see, because GECU is the leading credit union, I think, by size, by number of members.
50,000 members.
Right, so
That's very, very unfortunate. But again, I hope that we get proper media reports. I hope that the members get the answers that they're looking for and everyone stays informed about what exactly happened at GECU. So one other story that's interesting to note, and it's something that a lot of people unfortunately could probably relate to in some way. But is this the Greg's man who was jailed for stabbing his ex-girlfriend?
All right, so you have to inform me this because I've not seen this one. So
it's in this week's Searchlight's midweek paper, where it says Dudley Rodney, a 31-year-old farmer, was charged on August 29, 2022 at Grenville Street, Kingstown. He did unlawfully and maliciously wound Alicia Miller of Camden Park. So this happened last year, summer. So they appeared before Magistrate John Ballal yesterday, and according to the facts that were read in court, Miller knows Rodney very well, the two are together. However, Miller ended the relationship in July 2022 for personal reasons. After the relationship ended, the defendant made many attempts to contact Miller, but she ignored him. On Monday 29, 2022, about 9 p.m., Miller, along with some friends, were liming at Private's pub located in Grenville Street. While at the bar, she heard basically a "Hey, come here." It sounded aggressive, so she ignored it. Then she felt 3 stabs to her upper back, just like that. "Hey, come here," no response. 3 stabs to her upper back, causing her to fall to the ground. While on the ground, she saw Rodney. However, she was in a lot of pain and went into shock, and therefore was unable to see the object that Rodney used to stab her. He ran out of the bar, returned immediately, and stabbed Miller on her right thigh. So he left and come back and stabbed her again. That is it. That is craziness. And this is in Pirates Pub.
In the middle of town.
In the middle of
heart
town. No one was in Pirates Pub. No one saw this woman fall to the ground. No one helped her, but we don't know. But these are the facts that came out in court. When she regained consciousness at the hospital, the police were contacted. Miller reported the matter to police and they took a report. The magistrate referred to sentencing guidelines and found that based on the consequence of the offense, it falls into category 2, and based on the seriousness of the offense, it falls into level. That's lawyer jargon. I don't know what that means. But he began with a custodial sentence of 4 years when the aggravating and mitigating factors of the offense were considered. None were found. Okay. Aggravating facts of the offender was that he had 11 previous convictions, but none were found. Okay. One of which was for an assault, which was committed in 2015, and the other was for wounding, which was committed in 2010. However, since those offenses were not recent, the court did not consider them, and so the court neither added nor took away from the 4-year sentence. The court then considered Rodney's guilty plea and reduced Rodney's sentence by 1/3, resulting in a final custodial sentence of 2 years and 9 months. Now, you walk in a bar, you contacting your ex-girlfriend. Your ex-girlfriend did not respond to you. You stab her multiple times in this public place. Are we reducing sentences? 2 years, 9 months?
Yeah.
And the court is saying, no, I know the magistrate is going based on the guidelines of the law, but it's saying that he has 11 previous convictions, one of which was for assault committed in 2015, and the other was for wounding. So he has a history of attacking people.
Yeah, and you know, this is one of those topics that we speak about a lot in society. Violence against women, right? And you almost wonder at what point or when will it end, or if you're saying that there's a reduced sentence in this case, are crimes against women being taken seriously? Or I mean, just crimes in general. Let's not just say against women, but you see that there's a lot of issues in terms of women becoming the victims of violent attack, especially was it that their relationship had ended as well?
Yeah, the relationship ended. That's why he tried contacting her, according to the facts of the court. This story is right in Searchlight midweek. You could find it on their website, most likely on their Facebook. The story is there. The disappointing facts of this case to me was yesterday I was sitting and I was speaking with two journalists, and they made note of a bullet being found in someone's home, and they went to the magistrate's court, and 1 year was given, 1 bullet. 2 years and 9 months for walking into a bar, stabbing someone multiple times, leaving the bar, coming back, and trying to finish what you started. You get a year extra, 9 months for that.
That's why I say, how serious are we about crimes in general? But you know, we're focusing on women here. How serious are we about these types of crimes?
My question is, what are the sentencing guidelines? 2 years for 2 years and 9 months for this assault. 1 year for bullets. So if he had 2 bullets, it's 2 years. It's the same level of.
I guess these are things that we probably might need to raise in our cop chat discussion. You know, these are the questions that we tend to have concerning sentencing, or even just from the standpoint of arrest, and you know, that's that thing. Yeah, it is. It's, I don't know. Sometimes it's difficult for me to wrap my head around these situations, you know, and in instances in particular where a relationship has ended. Why do some men think that there is still that need to hold on to these women, or that level of control, or that level of thinking that no matter what, she cannot get away, she should not get away? You know, do we look at it as a situation of property? Is a woman your property? You know, why do you feel that at the end of a relationship that you need to make life hell for these women? You know, if a relationship has ended, everybody should be able to go their separate ways.
Listen, everyone, relationship, something most people experience. They go well, they go badly. At no point should a man feel that he is obligated to have a response from someone who has broken up with him to the point where he sees her in public and physically assaults her. And that's why it should end. Physically assault. It should never even get to aggravated wounding. It should never get to stabbing, gun boat.
Listen, if a relationship has ended and you all are not on good terms, just leave the person alone. That's it. That to me is what it should be. Just leave the person alone.
Listen, I am on team beg back as much as anybody else. If it is a relationship that I have worked for and I believe that it should not have ended how it ended and we should try. You see, words words is so powerful. I will use my words. I am not meeting you anywhere and grabbing onto you and I don't own you. I'm not your parents.
But you just said you're on team beg back, right?
Using words.
But you know that it's also could be a type of provocation, because if you keep trying to reach out to me and I do not want to hear from you, right? You become annoying to the point where I can actually report you.
Or for texting you.
But yeah, well, I mean,
the block button.
Well, that's true. But that is also true. There are ways in which you can deal with these type of situations by not engaging. And you said she did not respond.
She did not respond.
She was not trying to engage him as well.
She did not respond.
So it's I think what for me is the whole mental dynamics of a relationship has ended. Yes, it may not, as you said, may not have been a relationship that you wanted to end, but it has ended. That one person, whoever it is, male or female, has taken a stance that I do not wish to proceed further, right? It has come to an end. Now, why is it so difficult for persons to be able to understand that point? Why do you feel the need to reach out, to call, to message, to shout in the road, and then it gets to a point where it escalates into actual violence?
See, that's where we would disagree. Because to reach out, to call, to text, if it is that you genuinely was in this relationship, your feelings are invested, you believe that, hey, you haven't heard everything. Let's discuss this some more. You're going to reach out. It's natural. Male or female, you're going to reach out. You're going to try to have a conversation. When you're in public and you're shouting and you're harassing and you're grabbing and you're stabbing.
But you can also be harassing through a device.
You could harass through a device.
So what I'm saying is that if a person doesn't give you a sense, they may not necessarily say it physically, they may not say it with words, but if you message me and you see absolutely no responses, take that as a sign that I do not want to hear anything.
That's tricky because sometimes women want you to contact them even if they're not responding. It's tricky. And you might feel that way, but there are other women who feel differently.
Right, but the thing of it is that if you are constantly messaging and you're not seeing a response to that message, don't take it as a sign that we want for you to continue messaging.
As I said, it depends.
Right? If you message and we respond to the message with you say, hi, hello, how was it? And we respond with it's okay, how was yours? Then continue. You can continue having that discussion. But
I feel like we're having two different conversations now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's have I given you a sense that I want for us to be engaged in a conversation?
You're speaking about somebody approaching you, or you're speaking about somebody you're in a relationship?
In a relationship with.
And you've broken up.
And we have broken up.
And I'm messaging you, hello, good morning.
And if I respond, then yes, I wish for us to continuously engage in conversations more than likely. But if you're just messaging and there's absolutely no response, then that's it.
Yeah, this is a conversation we'll have to get back. Get back after the time check.
Yeah, but I think the point of it is that what we're trying to say here is that once a relationship has ended and persons are trying to go their separate ways, so then allow persons to go their separate ways, right? It doesn't have to get to the point of violence in this case.
Oh, definitely. We agree on that.
Right.
We most definitely agree on that.
All right. All right, so we are now at 9 and it is time for our ECCB currency exchange rates.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, helping wealth increase, starting small, building the future, doing more every day, doing more together. BOSVG, the bank we count on. BOSVG, our one bank together we're strong. Our nation's bank, standing long and proud. One bank, one voice, sing it loud. BOSVG. Hey, building our future. Doing more together.
OSBG, doing more together.
And we now bring to you the ECCB currency exchange rate sponsored by the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, the Barbados dollar stands at 1.35. The Canadian dollar stands at 2.00639. Euros are now at 2.88590. The pound sterling is at 3.34274. The US dollar stays fixed at 2.70. Yes, and that's it. That's the ECCB bank rates brought to you by the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, helping wealth increase, starting small, building the future, doing more every day, doing more together. BOSVG, the bank we count on. BOSVG, our one bank together we're strong. Our nation's bank, standing long and proud. One bank, one voice, sing it loud. BOSVG. Hey, building our future. Doing more together.
OSBG, doing more together. Thinking of winning the lotto jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
And we now present to you the lotto results. The results for the nightly 3-day draw for Monday, September 18th. Draw 13279 are as follows. Big D, 278. Mid D, 656. Little D, 657. Interesting. The next draw is slated for Friday, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. The results for the nightly Play 4 draw for Monday, September 18th, draw 4359 is as follows. Play 4, 7438. The next draw is slated for midday, Tuesday, 19th. Well, that's today. The next draw is slated for today. Right. And this has been the lottery results brought to you by the National Lotteries Authority.
On Tuesday, September 19th, there'll be thousands of dollars to be won. A lotto jackpot of $211,000. A new home, car, or that college education.
Lotto, you have to be in it
to win it.
Next Lotto jackpot, $211,000.
Boy, so where you getting crashing on? Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone good enough. My tires good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires, boy?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus, man. They out in Addersville. Can't miss it. Look for the orange container on them. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all thing, man. Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus, 784-432-4786 or email ctiresplus@gmail.com.
It's everything you'll ever want from everywhere, real easy. Shop on the net, use eZone, internet delivery. Get your online shopping delivered right to your door. A revolution, your evolution, go shop the world. eZone, eZone, from everywhere, real easy. eZone, eZone, go shop fast, the world. Easy, affordable. Shop on the net and get it here through the eZone.
eZone St. Vincent, local agent to BMC agencies.
Ready, set, surf. Singer, your favorite family store is now online. Log on today at www.singersvg.com and enjoy our store and products right at your fingertips. Now online are your trusted brands that you have come to love. Refrigerators to chest freezers, gas cookers to toasters, air fryers, mattresses, living room sets, and so much more. Browse our products, check the specs, compare brands and prices, and request parts all online. We have also made bill payments easier, more convenient, and simpler just for you. Log on to www.singersvg.com to learn more. Singer, your family company is keeping up with you and the times. Visit our website today and experience a whole new world of Singer, your trusted online family company.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sorry. I like a really boy, yes, should I try again? But now my heart is still they pain me. Oh, come ole coco, shabby shoni meroni, Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Yeah. Somebody song go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody song go love me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, yeah. Somebody song go love me one day. Oh yeah. Somebody song go love me one day.
Worried, I'm not worried. No, I know the word race. Who wants to talk for whatever and live your life forever? This place, heart has been through much. Oh, Camille,
ole coco, shabby shoni meroni. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody song go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody song go love me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, yeah. Somebody song go love me one day. Oh yeah. Somebody song go love me one day. Weight of the world if it's for me to carry. Shabby should be Ronnie, 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 Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This will be another heartbreak song. Somebody, some go find me one day. I don't deal with it, don't stay too far away. Somebody, some go love me one day. I don't deal with it, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody, some go love me one day. Somebody, some go love me one day. I'ma get no be so. Yeah, you won't capture my soul. I'ma get no be so. Make you one umbo. Better, bye. Better, bye. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Tonight in Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't call if you want one Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My thought album is loaded. Me, you can fag up, but I'm on duty, but I'm on low-key. They want do me, they want do me, but they want when you won't want me, I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, I just flew in from Miami. Peru, para, I'm loose, even Peru done me para. Pour out the bottle, I wanna level up. When I'm with you, I never get enough. Slow wine, I'm not in a rush. I can hear music when you're here. Tonight we're rolling, party till closing. Since I put the ring on the finger, it's still frozen. Love in slow motion, I wanna feel you over me, yeah. Certain magic in your eyes, yeah. Girl, I love the way you ride it. And it happens every time you arrive, that's right. Girl, I want you in my life, yeah. There's a heaven and it's right here, yeah. I will never leave your side, stay tonight. When you won't see me, I'm in West London this evening, giving me the feelings, no I'm not leaving, till I fly LA next weekend. Peru, nah, girl I'd rather go find somewhere quiet. You glow, and I get lost here in your eyes. I'ma gain all be so, girl you just capture my soul. I'ma gain all be so, make me wanna just take you home. Peru, para, I'm loose, even better done the para. Peru, para, I'm loose, even better done the para. Peru, para, I'm loose, even better done the para.
WEFM is SVG. 3, 2, 1. WEFM is SVG.
All right, so we are back with our commentary at this time. All right, so far we have touched on the matter of the API recording leak. We've touched on the
Gecko meeting.
We
and the Greg's man who stabbed his ex-girlfriend.
Right. So what are we on to next? And let's say good morning to Christal.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Roleza. Good morning, Ari. Good morning to the guy in the background there, whose name must not be. Oh, how does Harry Potter say it? He who must not be named. Yeah.
But he who has been helping us a lot this morning. So thank you very much to the one who shall not be named. But we truly appreciate you being here.
I don't think it's Karen, but if I'm right, it might be.
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought his name was
strangely
James.
familiar.
James.
It's James, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right.
James.
Once again, good morning. Sincerest apologies for not being here from the very start, but life happens.
Yeah.
And then you happen to life. I'm not sure what I just said. But I really regret missing some of the topics. So the next one is gonna be
the youth and politics.
Oh,
and
boy.
yeah, this is actually a piece run that was, but I saw it published on a couple social media news sites.
Mhm.
So I think he may have contributed it to different sites. But it's a piece done by Troy Prince.
Mhm.
And the caption is Youth in Politics, and he delves into several reasons or several points of view for him in relation to questions regarding youth and politics in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So let's start. Let's kickstart.
Youth
What
and
are
politics.
what are your thoughts on this?
Every time I hear youth in politics, my mind unfortunately goes to something negative. As in, why don't we have more youth in politics? I think at this time I sort of expected, my expectations were that, or are that you would have so many young people wanting to contribute to nation building from a political perspective that is hard to choose and it's hard to pass on, whether it's information or even give them opportunities. However, on the flip side to that, we have seen, I think, within the past few months, and this is coming from the ULP side, quite a number of young people getting opportunities within the political sphere. That's a good thing. It has been happening over the years with young people being involved in politics. I think Saboto Ciso was quite young when he joined.
Mhm.
Luke Brown was also quite young when he
Poster
joined.
child, Luke Brown.
What?
The poster child for youth in politics, Luke Brown.
And he has an excellent program running right now in Sign Hill, actually. I'm not too sure how many years, but the fact that he
It's
still
been
has
around
it
a
running,
while.
yeah.
It's been around a while.
Luke's Kids Club, yeah.
Mhm.
We've also had Laven's last name just slipped me. My sincerest apologies, but she's from Union Island. She's from the NDP side. She's the NDP's PRO.
Yeah.
King is
King, right?
Laverne King.
Laverne King, yes.
Mhm.
Joining politics, the political sphere. Very recently, we had Vakisha,
John.
Vakisha John, on the NDP side, but she's since taken a step back for whatever reason. There was a lot of basketball about that. I'm not going to get into that. But those are just my expectations. Even though we've had one or two in between, my expectations were a bit higher. And it always leads me to the question of why aren't more young people gravitating towards, and why on the outside looking in, it seems to be a bit of a struggle
Mhm.
for either the political parties, because we have two major ones to get young people involved.
Yeah. Christal did raise a couple points. I think for me, so I'm in that category where I'm not young and I'm not old, right? So I fall somewhere in between. And I think for me, one of the challenges has always been that politics seems to be a nasty, I don't want to say sport, because it's serious business, but it's just always seemed like something that young persons may not necessarily want to engage in, because it seems like it's a bitter clash that tends to happen, right? One of the other things that I note is that young persons, before you would have had organizations such as the NYC, the National Youth Council, right? If I'm not mistaken, those are termed the civil society organizations. So you would have had young persons engaged in these organizations who would have given their views on things happening within the country, who would have advocated for things. And if I'm not mistaken, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, one of the listeners, I think that the NYC advocated for the, what you call it, National Heroes Day. A listener could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they were the ones who would have advocated for that particularly. So it shows that when the organization was up and running, they had a voice, right? Now, it would not have necessarily been a case where they took a political side, but they were looking at things from a national perspective, from a youth engaged in topics or debates of national interest. It's not difficult necessarily for them to then transition into party politics, because they would have already had that background, they would have already had that basis. They would know how to argue a point, they would know how to, and let's say argue maturely, argue maturely particular points, right? So we have to look at that. The other aspect of youth in politics is that I seriously question these days what influences a young person's vote. The guys on the blocks who are sitting down, who are unemployed, maybe by choice or by chance, when election time comes around, what motivates them to get up and vote, and what influences who they're going to vote for, right? I have to look at things such as, in psychology, they talk about the recency effect. And it's a case where you gave me a handout today, and because that's the most recent thing that I remember, then I look at you in a particular light, and I'm in favor of you. So because of that, I am going to vote for you. Now, does this make sense for national development, for the overall benefits of the country, from a stance of policy development, from a stance of wanting more from the country? Does that recency effect work to the advantage of the nation? Right? So that's one of the things, because there are times when I'm of the opinion where it is difficult for me to maybe pick a side, right? And the thing of it too is that it's also extremely difficult to have political conversations with persons. Reason being is that from the time you speak on a particular matter, it seems as if you're either deemed on one side or against the other side. Now, I keep telling people that the thing with okay, so we speak about education revolution. You're going to school, you get an education. You're supposed to be a critical thinker. Now, let's say, and I'm just saying this loosely, I am a ULP supporter. I'm not saying that I am, but let's say loosely, I am a supporter of the ULP. But they are doing things, or I've seen a particular situation that I am not happy with. Is it wrong for me to have a comment or to speak on that particular matter without me being deemed anti-ULP? So there are some instances where persons don't even voice their opinions because of the fact that you don't know how it's going to be perceived by the rest of the public. But why should I hold back my point just because you are going to think that this is who I am when it's not necessarily the case? I can be critical of Christal as a friend, right? But does that mean that I hate Christal? I'm being a hater towards Christal? No. So when you look at all these little things, it is a challenge for younger persons to want to even engage in politics because you don't want to have a label attached to you.
It's very easy to be labeled as well. Very, very easy.
You don't have to do anything to be labeled, trust me.
Yeah.
But before you jump in here, Israel Bruce, he's the NDP's candidate on the minority side. I can't remember the exact constituency, but I think he was a past president of the National Youth Council.
Right.
And he has spoken quite a number of times about how it benefited him, how he got to travel, the opportunities he got, and other people who were involved with the NYC as well during that era before it just stopped working. And I distinctly recall him calling for it to come back based on his experience and based on the benefits that he has seen for himself. So It's not something that's far-fetched.
Christal, I have a question. What was the API called before the API?
GIS? Is it GIS?
Yeah, you're young.
General Information
You're young.
Service.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You testing
So
me.
listen. Nobody in the studio besides James can say that they are not old or young.
Oh, okay.
No, because Roleza said, I am in the category where I'm not young and I'm not old.
Yeah,
She's
I
smack in the
feel,
middle.
based on that question, that I am young, and unfortunately, you can't say this to women, so I won't say it. But it is implied.
That we're older. Listen, I keep telling persons, for me, it's would I prefer to have died at the age of 25 with my youth or have my age? You know, no, not old, but I good. You know, so yeah.
But,
all right, but
on the topic, I can say as a young person that I've never been interested in politics, not once.
And why is that, though?
I've never been interested to vote. I have never voted in my life. I've never picked a side. I've never felt the need to say, hey, I like what this person is saying so much that I want to pick a side and I want to see what they will do. Because I ultimately feel, and this is me as a young person, I ultimately feel that you're getting the same thing from both sides. Now, the ULP recently puts a lot of young people in some desirable positions. My question to that, as a regular Vincentian without any sides, would their voices be heard or would they just be filling a seat? Now, we said, well, Christal, you said you won't go deep into the Vakisha issue, but Vakisha made a point as it relates to the NDP that they had youths, they had their young dems, but their voices weren't being heard. And one of the critical points that you made was people being labeled. Vakisha made a comment saying that she held youth awards and she wanted to award some ULP supporters as well. And that was an issue higher up the chain. This is based on Vakisha's word. This was an issue higher up the chain. So are these youths voices being heard in the positions that they have been put in? Or are they just there because people are saying, we need new faces, we need fresh faces, we need the youth? And this is a discussion that could be had for both sides.
I have a curious question for you.
I have a point, but question first.
I have a question though. Given that you have said, and this is not in any way to chastise you, but given that you have said that you have never voted and you're not interested in voting, right? When there are issues that come up, are you critical? Do you think that you should lend your voice, given that you have a choice to make and you do not exercise that choice? How do you feel about
I think that everyone, and in America, the Fourth Amendment, has a right to speak on issues that are directly affecting them. It is also my choice if I want to get directly involved in the voting process, because I do have the choice to decide, listen, I will add to whoever is going to be in power, or I will attempt to add to who takes up a seat or who is removed from a seat. But it is my right to say, I don't like the way this is being done, because voting doesn't mean it's going to change.
But you can influence the outcome of the decision by voting.
But that does not necessarily, especially
if it's just one.
I know, you're not saying anything wrong. But that's one side. The other side is my vote could mean absolutely nothing. Does that mean?
But remember, each vote counts.
Each vote counts.
It does count. But okay, so the ULP wins a seat by one vote.
Could have been your vote.
Could have been my vote. But and I wanted to vote for the NDP, right? Just saying. And I have an issue with the road at my house. Does that mean because I have not voted that I do not have a voice to say, hey, there's a problem here?
Well, I think there are different ways to exercise your voice. And voting is a way of exercising your voice.
Wrong. I think this here is a different argument that could go on for quite some time. Whether or not those who vote should lend a voice to national issues.
Okay.
And that could get quite heated. Trust me.
But my point is, Are the voices of the young people being heard? Because we heard from the NDP side, no. We've seen people elected by the ULP, but outside of Adrian Udall, who else do we see publicly making statements?
But Adrian would make statements even before
Exactly.
his position. So that is his personality.
Exactly.
But
what is his voice being heard in the position that he is now in?
Yeah, as
well,
I
that I can't answer.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is how I see it, right? Let me choose my words wisely. But I think there needs to be a period when a young person gets into, even if it's getting into a new job, getting into an organization, getting into a group, getting into a new school, getting into politics, there needs to be a period for that young or new person to observe, right? To observe, to pick up on nonverbal cues. If it is that you are interested in leadership, you have to learn the people that you eventually want to lead. My concern is, are some of the young people who are interested and who have gotten into the political circle, are they taking the time to learn Vincentian politics and learn the people within the party before they try to influence some sort of change? For me, it's more effective if you have everybody on board. So after a while, you get to know Roleza, I get to know you, I get to know the guy in the corner there. I might have my the way I see the future within this party. But if I just jump in and say, okay, hey, I think y'all need, it's going to be, especially people who have been there for donkey years, it is going to shock them. I think that's something that we need to consider. We just have to take our time and not rush things. You can still have your voice and everything, but you just have to take your time.
Yeah,
Rome wasn't built on a day.
Yeah, I think Ari is making a good point, and I think not just within politics, you see it within organizations too. The young person who just came back from studying with all the excitement and exuberance to make changes.
Oh boy,
they are the ones who, yeah,
honesty.
It was me as well at one point in time, you know. And that's the thing, you know, you come back with these ideas. Now, it's not to say that we want to just come in and take over completely, right? Nobody is saying that just because you're young and this degree thing, you know, because you have this degree means that you are automatically qualified to be experts in everything. No, that's not it. It has to be experience plus qualifications, right? So let's put those two together. But I do feel that there are many times in organizations, maybe even within politics, where you feel as if, number one, because of your age, you're not going to be taken seriously with your thoughts and your views, right? Number two, there would be a national agenda, right? That national agenda, yes, the experience, the years of experience may lend to whoever is at the head, being the one to push forward that particular agenda. But then you feel sidelined, right? You may have ideas. Now, how many organizations or how many, in the case of politics, how many persons are willing to take on these ideas from the younger persons, right? So I think this is where we have that challenge within society. I'm not just saying for politics, but within society itself, where young people, just because of their age, they may not want to voice their thoughts because nobody's, as I said, nobody's going to, people may not want to take you seriously, right? They say, where you going? You know, come, you're an upstart. You know, you always say those type of things. You just reach, you just come, right? But but slowly you wear persons down, and people just fall into the routine of life, you know, doing things.
Okay, we have a call coming in here. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I am missing my girl. Is Christal around?
She's there.
Good morning, Dave. It's because I didn't answer the phone one.
Well, it's good to hear you because I was wondering what's going on. I heard one or two things being mentioned for the morning and I didn't hear you, so I was wondering, seems as though we have a bacchanal in API or some bacchanal, however you want to refer to it. And I hope you guys keep following the developing stories, events, so to speak, where the Agency for Public Information, media arm of government in this country is concerned. It's very important. And if there's a breakdown in that organization, well, doesn't speak well for us as a people. But at the same time, I hope, well, all I can call on is the Prime Minister because he seems to be in charge of everything in the country. I hope he takes immediate action and let us know as a population, as a nation, especially people like me, who is fearless in terms of saying it whenever anything happens as a part of our democracy. I hope he can provide us with a quick fix. Let me put it that way, a quick fix to all of that. Yeah, so what was the other thing something else that I heard you guys mention? It kind of slipped me on the way. Apart from that, what else did you all talk about this morning?
We spoke about the reason for the Gecko CEO being terminated today, being discussed today. And we spoke about we spoke about a stabbing that occurred, and our guy was sentenced 2 years for stabbing his ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. But this is in a new age, in a new era. And maybe as the young, bright, upcoming, whatever, who are going to replace the older heads, you will have to make your impact on what is taking place. If you can use the rod of correction, if you can come up with some method or methods of correcting all what is going on. It's not, St. Vincent and Grenadines is not what it used to be. I had some lovely days in this country. I remember the days when I used to jump on a bus, go to North Leeward, go to North Windward. I used to do that because I'm that type of person. I love to be by myself, investigating certain things, do on my own hiking, call it what you may. I used to go up in the mountains and that sort of thing to seek some kind of peace, because I enjoyed some beautiful days in the mountains. I remember going to Rose Hall one time, although that had to do with my job at the time. Going to a place called Palmyra, and that's going up high above Rose Hall. Those of you who know anything about Rose Hall, and let me tell you this too, it's important that you know your country. I don't know everything. I still had some places I didn't reach. But knowing your country is important because sometimes we migrate and we learn more about the geography and what's not about another country more than we know about ours. Although you're Vincentian or you want to, can't be a Vincentian and you don't know your place and so on. It's important.
All right, don't stray too much, yeah?
I just wanted to make that suggestion. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. You take care.
All right, so yeah.
There's the older generation, the persons before who would have spent most of their lifetime in politics or their jobs. It helps to have an open mind.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It helps to have an open mind. I think you can achieve a happy medium where you acknowledge the voice of the youth and you appreciate their input because they're going to see things that you're not going to see. Exactly. Right? That. The young people would be able to find solutions to problems that they're having that you're not having, you never had in your time. Might be similar, but it's not the same thing. There are new technologies that they are privy to, new ways of getting to people that at some point it's going to come to this, that you are going to end up listening to them. But I think for some folks who have been in
call coming in, you want to wrap up or
ego.
Straight to the call? Okay.
Go ahead to the call.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
The young lady on the program, what is her name?
Roleza or Christal? Roleza.
Not Christal. The new one.
Roleza.
Roleza?
Yes.
Yes. It's nice hearing from you. And you said something this morning that a lot of Vincent should not saying. You analyze it properly and you give me a good explanation. Why young people are not going forward to be candidates. And what you said, strike it right there. And all you're hearing some people say, where the young people, where the young people? You just can't go and take a young person and put them there. They have to have the interest. And the interest being nurtured from the beginning, or from the consciousness, as we will say it. Because as you said, we had the National Youth Council and what's not. There's where you either come a good speaker, you analyze the certain things, you're conscious of what's going on around you. Okay? Yes, and then there's another thing. You are a critical thinker, and when you're a critical thinker, you have to be careful. Because remember, now you're saying things as it is, as you see it, factual sometimes. Yes, that is the problem with young people going forward. And then there's the stigma attached to it, that they will go in your background, dig up this, the past, your family background, and there's a lot of things. So those who have the young people coming forward, kudos. But it's a very hard thing, and you give the right explanation this morning. And I hope others, older ones, young ones, politicians, I hope they get that explanation correct. Now there's another thing. You talk about this morning with Gecko.
Yes.
I hope the Gecko members them go to the meeting this afternoon. If they want to find out why the man went for lunch and didn't turn back and didn't return, or if he was fired, they must go to the meeting and hear what is happening. You have a beautiful day there.
You as well. Thank you.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, she said something though, and I'll share a personal experience. Now, I have never loved politics, especially Vincentian politics, and that's what I grew up around. That's what I was socialized around. Socialized by, sorry. I thought that I still think that we have a lot of hate within the political sphere. And I would term it as like maybe gutter politics as well, where politicians make a lot of personal attacks against one another. And that's something I don't believe in. That's not how you progress a nation. That's not how you bring people together. I think it is, there was a term that was mentioned, I think it was last week, political tribalism. And I've seen it play out, unfortunately. And as we're talking about youth in politics, now, if I had any little interest in pursuing any political career, me being open-minded and thinking independently as much as I possibly can, because in any event, you're going to be influenced by something.
Correct.
Some experiences that I've had within the past year or so, with me airing my views that opposed the majority of the listenership, the responses that I got from persons who were older than I am, and I'm going to be very honest, they really hurt me. Because, okay, I'm young. I'm always told there's the future, whatever. And I said, you know what? If I ever had any chance or any will, I will never, ever, ever put my foot in any political ring if this is what our leaders have groomed for us to take over, for us to lead. Never in a million years. I think there was a moment that I really closed my mind towards Vincentian politics for good. That's why I seldom talk about politics here. I'm very general with it, and that's coming from a young person who I don't believe in picking sides, even if you are for the NDP or for the ULP. Ain't nothing wrong with disagreeing with your political party, as you mentioned. I hate the labeling. We don't get anywhere with that. It's just too divisive. So,
and then
at least if you're gonna do a survey, that's one response there.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is as I said before, what influences vote, right? Now for the older folks, they may have, let's say, voted along color, and I'm using the word color, right? Your parents may have voted for red or yellow. You continue to vote for red or yellow, right? But as a young person, is this what you should be doing? right? Just because my family has a history of voting for NDP doesn't mean that I should vote for NDP. What is my obligation? What says that I should, right? And that's the thing, that this is where it is when manifestos come out. Do persons, young persons in particular, right? Do they take the time to read these manifestos, or are they just watching the pages and thinking whose is thicker, right? Whose manifesto is thicker, right? Are they actually focusing on the issues? When you look at your candidates within your constituency, and this is one of the tricky things. I'm sorry. This is one of the tricky things where it's with our political system where you have two candidates, right? NDP, ULP. But I think that the NDP candidate is the better person for my constituency. However, I prefer maybe the overall policies for the ULP. Now, this is the system that we have, that we've come to meet. And if I had my way, it would have been you vote for the best person for your constituency, then let those persons form a party. Now, that is going to be a challenge because then you have to come up with policies and so forth, because you have to put your heads together to come up with policies, so that's not what we have. But this is the thing, is that are we, when we do go out and vote, and maybe Ari, when election time comes around, maybe in 2025, how are you going to decide on once Ari giving me an eye?
No, what you just said was
Uh-huh.
a really interesting perspective that I haven't heard before, and I think it's correct. It's just how do we fashion the law around something like that? Because you don't know. I don't think that we have the political maturity for candidates to decide what we're doing is not for the betterment of a party, it's for the betterment of the citizens. So if we're going to work together, we're not going to try to bring down a party from the inside. We're not trying to walk against our competitors. We're trying to improve St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I don't believe that we're there.
Some parties might say they could kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, but they have both.
Because,
They have both. Yeah.
a lot of it boils down to marketing,
Yeah.
Marketing.
But one of the other things, as we wrap up in a little bit, one of the other things is that I think the exposure by young persons to what, like, parliamentary style of debate. I know that before you would see students in attendance in the gallery when there's parliament, but how often does this happen? So even in getting children involved in parliamentary debates, going to courthouse, etc., just having them involved in that may give at least one or two students a bit of interest in getting involved in politics. So apart from, let's say, organizations like the NYC, which needs to come back, or even if it's not on a national scale, within schools, are there general parliamentary style type of debates going on? Do they practice that within let's say, their English language classes? Because debates, when you do English, you have to, there's a sentence that's given and you have to give your opinions. It's always for discussion, right? But one of the other things too is that we have to know how to debate within our country. Now, I know that persons tend to use that if you and I get into a heated conversation, it's called an argument. It may not necessarily be an argument. We're just having a discussion where we are giving our different opinions.
Look, earlier we had different opinions.
And giving different opinions doesn't mean that both of us have to come to one conclusion, but it's about airing our different views. And this is where I think we have a serious problem here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we always think that whatever your opinion is, and if you shout louder than me, then it means that you have won the argument, quote unquote argument. When it's just
never a debate to learn, it's an argument.
And it's just being able to understand where another person is coming from without necessarily having to adopt the person's point of view.
Yeah,
right.
Or neglect yours altogether.
Right.
Exactly.
So I was giggling in my mind because as you're saying, arguing and so on, and parliament debates in schools, and have them to mimic it, but that might be a little problematic because for the most part, people will only hear about the unvaccinated spittle, or you sit down, you sit down,
or the excitement,
hush mouth,
the excitement.
We need that segment. parliamentary courts.
Or the bats.
Yeah, but but that's exactly where it starts, where we have to get persons engaged. The young children have to be engaged. Otherwise, what does this say for our society? The future of our society. So, yeah, I think we might need to do a part 2 on this discussion.
Part 2. But before we go, I know we have to go right now, but subject to correction, I believe that the government, I started making the news a couple months ago, but I can't remember exactly. And I don't have
the Parliamentary Institute
for young people.
Something to that effect. But
so that's not just something
right.
to verify, but just to say that there is or might be something already in the works.
Okay. All right. So at this time, we are going to take a break.
At Quartz, we value your sleep. So let us help you sleep well with the bedding event of the year at Quartz. Trade in that old mattress for a brand new one. Get 30% off. Serta, Reston,